I'm now recording the meeting, so whatever you say is going to live on forever. So just got to throw that out there. I appreciate you all coming. What? I don't want you to repeat whatever you said, Trey. Just don't. Okay, keep driving, sir. Thank you all for coming. Today's meeting is all about three main forms of marketing that we should all concern ourselves with. Two of these forms of marketing take hours of work, and one just takes money. Okay. Social media, let's start with that. There's two main types. There's the unique type that takes time and work. Think Ashley Callahan and the stuff that she produces. She's a great example. I'll show you more examples of unique content shortly because we have some new franchisees that we're going to highlight in today's meeting that are awesome at some of these things. Okay. We do offer free social media shares through Tacklebox. If you need to be utilizing this stuff, you need to be highly suggesting that your agents do as well. I'm throwing a video in chat right now that all of you, if you are not fully utilizing our social shares program, please go watch that video. Let's take that video, save it. The next type of marketing, cold calling, direct outreach to either FSBOs, expireds, or your sphere. This takes active work. It takes discipline. This is something that most people are just not willing to do. But I would say this is the #1 guarantor of success in real estate. Like if I was going to pick one skill to predict somebody's success, okay, a total stranger, don't know anybody anywhere. If they were willing to master this and be disciplined about it, this would be the skill that I would say is the biggest predictor of success. And then finally, we have website, CRM, digital marketing. This takes an initial setup, which is a little bit of time. It takes money, but when done effectively, requires less hands-on hourly work. Another key aspect of online marketing is getting Google reviews. I cannot stress enough how important getting Google reviews is. You should be asking for reviews from all of your clients, and go ahead and ask reviews from your friends as well. If you are not proficient at this, there's a link going in chat right now. Please take a look at that video. It is, and make sure you're clicking on the description below because there's some added things in the description, but this will get you getting Google reviews. Anytime you, an agent, anybody does anything, ask for Google reviews. Okay. If you're sitting around hanging out, having a beer or a glass of wine with your title rep or lender, get a Google review. Seriously, like I can't stress how important these are. Now then,
hang on one second, Grant.
Yes.
You need to make sure if you are going on a Google review spree, you don't want to get too many on the same day. If you do that, you will be flagged as spam. So spread it out. Send out 20 a day, but don't just sit there and invite 100 people to review you on Google.
Yep. Also, I'm throwing an email link in chat. There is One Click SEO actually designed an app that uses AI to help get reviews and to respond to reviews and things like that. It's pretty affordable. If you are interested in that, highly recommend it. Reach out to One Click SEO. Okay. And I can also provide you a direct link to do this as well. Just let me dig that up. So anyways, moving on. You do not have to be the best in the business at all three of these skills to be an amazing producer. You don't even necessarily have to do all three of these to be an amazing producer. But I do believe that in order to be an amazing producer and not hit a ceiling where you are going to stop growing, you need to be at least very good at one and be proficient in others, or at least one other, really. Okay. So we're going to touch on all three, but in the end, focus on a pain point for many of you, which is how to fully utilize KV Core and get it working for you. And with that in mind, I'd like to use 3 of our newest franchisees as examples. Okay, so I'm going to name them and just kind of put them on the spot. All 3 of these people, I'm not sure if all 3 are here. I think they are, but they're all amazing producers, despite being only open for 3 or 4 months. But they each have strengths, and they have areas that they are going to want to improve if they want to continue to grow at these insane speeds. If you don't follow these 3 guys on social media, I highly recommend you take a moment to do so. Send them a friend request. Just kind of follow what they're doing. Okay, see what's happening with them. So for starters, Landon Bushing. He opened about 9 weeks ago in Indianapolis, and has taken on average 2 listings every single week since he's joined. That puts him on pace for taking 100 listings a year as a solo agent in a brand new market. Okay, that's insane. Okay, Landon is very open about where his success comes from, and it's cold calling. Landon was a teacher before he got into real estate, so he loves teaching, he loves helping. Every Wednesday at 8:30 Central, Landon and I do a cold calling training. We call it the Breakfast Club. I post it every single week, but I'm going to throw a link to it in chat right now. All you have to do is click on this, register for it, and come learn how we cold call. If you are a broker that has zero interest in cold calling, you should attend this at least once or twice just to learn, because you are very likely to recruit a young, ambitious agent who doesn't have money, but they've got time and they've got the energy and they got the drive. They just need the direction. So just attending this and seeing what it's like, and once you recruit that agent, know that this program is there for them, is amazing. Okay, so highly recommend everybody just come hang out once or twice. Okay, if you don't want to spend a ton of money to grow, highly recommend you do that. Landon is not spending anything on this system, and once again, he's taking 2 listings every single week. Okay, now then, Landon also makes high quality social media content. If you guys, well, I'll tell you what, let me just share a screen really quick. I'm going to pull up Landon's content over here, and you guys can see some examples of the social media content that he creates. So this is Landon. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. Everybody see my screen? Okay. Yeah. So this is Landon, sort of content that he creates. Obviously, he's got his typical listing content, but he also makes, you know, content of him outside of closing, visiting a new area, all that kind of stuff, sharing information that's trendy in real estate news. Here's one for him at Fishers, Indiana. He's good at this sort of stuff. Okay, he's good at this sort of stuff. He's always posting things about real estate and just doing things. Okay, so once again, great guy to follow on social media. Okay, his weakness, if I'm picking on Landon, his weakness is at the pace he is growing, he will run out of time to cold call. And so he needs to start taking some of the revenue that he's going to generate over the next few months from all that effort that he's putting into cold calling, and have it continue to expand his business through digital marketing, because it's going to be a much smaller time investment. Is everybody following where I'm going here? Like right now, he's working hard. But before too long, as some of our top producers will tell you, that when you have an active social media feed and you've got a lot of signs in the ground, you're going to start going on too many listing appointments, and you're not going to have time to spend those hours and hours and hours of work. Okay. Drew Wyant, he's down the road in Columbus, Indiana. He did 14 transactions in office. Once again, he's one of our newer franchises. It's been open for about 4 months, I believe. He did 14 transactions in August. He opened right around May of this year and put 18 listings active, pending, and sold in his first 30 days. He has grown so fast that his former Tom Ferry coach reached out to me and was asking how he did it. Okay, he was a student of Tom Ferry. He was part of Tom Ferry's coaching program. That person reached out to Drew and is like, how the heck did you do this? And then they got on a call with me, and now I'm doing a video call with a Tom Ferry coach, because he wants to learn what is making Drew grow so fast. Okay, I'm not quite as privy to Drew's secrets of success as I am Landon, but I believe he's probably cold calling FSBOs and expires. He's probably working his sphere. He was a pretty damn good producer before he came to us. Drew's biggest strength, in my opinion, I would guess, once again, I'm not quite as privy to him, is his working his past sphere, outreach to potential clients through cold calling. His areas that he could get a little bit better: website utilization and social media content. Okay, like when you look at his social media feed, it's good. Okay, but you don't see unique content. Now then, he doesn't have to be amazing at that, but if he really wanted to expand his social media reach, creating unique content like Landon does would be great. Okay, that's something that would be helpful. Does he have to do it? No. He's already killing it. As long as he's using our social shares, he's going to be just fine. Okay. But KV Core and more specifically, a better digital presence is going to be very important to him, because at the rate he's going, he's not going to have time. He's going to have to stop spreading seeds just to harvest what he's grown. Okay. Now then, both of those guys do a fantastic job of utilizing social media shares specifically for productivity posts and to demonstrate their growth. So even though Drew is not doing the unique social content that Landon does, he's still utilizing our social shares program. He's still being very vocal about how successful he is. If you take a minute to go look at Drew Wyatt on Facebook, you'll see it. It's all there. Now then, that brings me to the final guy, Brett Reinhardt. He's a new franchisee in Missouri. If you look at his social media feed, and I'm going to show you his now, Brett's social media content is just amazing. Like it's phenomenal. It's really, really, really cool stuff. Okay. Making really unique content. You know, just fun stuff like this. You know,
hey, I'm going to jump in here real quick, Grant. I had a conversation with Brett yesterday, and he is on a kind of like a 30-day push to get his name and his brokerage out there. And that's why he's making all of these awesome posts with videos and whatnot. He said once he feels like his name is out there, he's going to pull back a little bit on that, because it is time consuming to come up with the ideas, to edit the videos and whatnot. But this is a great way to kind of push your name out there, because everybody stops and watches the video.
I mean, it's phenomenal. Okay. All this content that he makes is great. His family's adorable. He's got cute kids. I mean, he's doing really cool, unique stuff. Okay. He really is. And it's awesome. And you can tell he's putting a ton of time and a ton of effort and a ton of thought into these things. It's great. But now he doesn't, I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think he's cold calling at all. I don't think he has time for it. He's already too busy for it. His content reminds me a lot of Ashley Callahan, who was our top producer at our home office, who did 70+ transactions just as an agent, not as an owner of anything, just as an agent. I think she did 73 last year in a very down Louisiana market. I mean, last year was like everybody's down 40%, and Ashley did like 70-something transactions. Okay. Brett, if you notice, one thing that was missing with Brett, okay, he could reach another level of business if he used our social shares program, specifically our productivity posts. And the reason is because Brett is making amazing social media content, but unless you know his production, unless you dig through it and find his numbers, you think he's just making amazing social media content. You're not going to have any clue that Brett's probably going to do 100 deals in his first 12 months. You're not going to know, because that's not there. The amazing content is there. He's doing the hard part. The easy part, which is going into Tackle Box and saying, bro, I listed 5 houses this week. Send me a productivity post on that. Like, he's not doing the little thing. And so all of these guys, once again, doing amazing things. And they're all going to be incredibly successful. They already are. But little things that they could get better at is going to be huge. But every single one of these guys, they see the importance of it. They're actively working towards it, but none of them are where they need to be from a digital footprint yet. Social media is there. The production is there. All that stuff is there. But from a digital marketing standpoint, they're not there yet. Okay. They are actively generating business, but they're doing it through things that are time consuming, and they are going to run out of time. Okay. That brings me to KV Core. Okay. I spoke to a KV Core specialist that works with a lot of our people this morning. He's generating buyer leads for about $3 to $6 a piece, and he's generating seller leads for $15 to $25 a piece. Now, when I say seller leads, I don't mean the stuff that we send out to you guys sometimes where it's somebody saying, please come list my house today. It's not that, but it's somebody who is actively requesting to go into a seller pipeline and see content and things like that through you for $15 to $25 a piece. Okay, compare that to Zillow, who wants $100 to $300 for a phone call. I would say that's a steal, especially considering you are branding your company while you are doing this. You're not paying Zillow to brand themselves to send you a phone call. Okay, very, very, very different thing. So this meeting, does anybody have any questions so far about anything I've gone over? Is all this kind of tracking, is all this making sense?
Lisa's asking you to repeat what you just said.
Okay, so the last statement, there's a lot of agents, not so much us, but there's a lot of agents that will not utilize their own tech to generate their own business, but they will pay Zillow $100, $200, $300 for a phone call, which Zillow is probably generating for $1 or less. But you're paying them and they're keeping the other $99 profit to further build Zillow. What I'm saying is that through KV Core, we have people that are generating buyer leads for $3 to $6, seller leads for $15 to $25. That is a much better idea, especially when you have a disruptive brand like 1% Lists. You're much better off getting your brand out there to generate your own, because then at least people are seeing the logo. They're seeing your content. They're seeing you. You're not simply waiting for Zillow to overcharge you and feed you crumbs. Okay. So this meeting is all about KV Core. We have a ton of content out there about social media, how to get better at it. You can follow Landon Bushing, Brett Reinhardt, Ashley Callahan, Drew Wine, all of them. Tons of people make great social media content. I will work with anybody who needs help with it. I will set up meetings with any of these people who are amazing at it, way better than me. That's not the purpose of this meeting. Okay. It's also not about cold calling. Every Wednesday morning, we can teach you how to outreach FSBOs and expireds. This is all about KV Core. It's all about digital marketing, getting more out of your website and CRM. We are going to talk about success stories for KV Core today and what a lot of our top offices are doing. It's ironic every month to hear from franchisees. We have offices who complain that they have to pay $160 a month for KV Core and they never touch it, even though their bill is 20% of what it would be if they purchase it straight from KV Core, because we have an enterprise account. They resent the fact that they are paying $160 a month for it. And our top 2 franchisees, which I spoke to this week to learn a little bit more about what they're doing through KV Core, what they said is, please do not touch KV Core. Do not get rid of KV Core. We love KV Core. We are killing it. Whatever you do, because when I call them and I say, hey, tell me about your experience with KV Core, they're like, you're not getting rid of it, are you? We love it. Please leave it alone. Okay. 6 of our top 10 franchises are using Chris Zach, who is a KV Core specialist. Another one of our top 10 producing franchises is likely going to be signing a contract with him very soon. Spoke with him today, and he says he has a contract in his email. He's just not got to read it. Please understand that even though I'm going to talk about Chris Zach quite a bit, this meeting is not meant to be a promotional event for Chris Zach, the KV Core specialist. We do not get a cut from anything you pay Chris Zach. We do not profit. I would have to disclose to you legally if I did. But Chris Zach has shown a track record of generating business for people affordably, and that is important to us. Okay. So I also understand that for most of us, we are not KV Core savvy. KV Core is, for most of you, should be used as a tool to help with branding and generate business without you spending a ton of time in the system. For our average really good producer, they're not setting up a meeting with Chris Zach trying to figure out how they can productively spend 3 hours a day in KV Core. It's more so, how can KV Core generate stuff for me that I don't have to mess with? So we encourage Chris Zach because we have seen success with him. You are welcome to use whoever you wish. You're welcome to go Google, KV Core specialist. Anything else, you're welcome to do whatever you want. As long as they're using our logos, colors, fonts, and everything else correctly, we don't care who you use. You can reach, if you decide you want to meet with Chris Zach and just explore this, you can reach him by clicking on the link that I'm about to put in chat. But let's talk about what he does. Okay, so these are some of the things that we've seen from him and what he's doing for people. He charges $300 a month to do a few things. Number one, he does a 30-minute onboarding and training call to talk about different lead sources available to you, which ones you want to pursue, which ones other offices are seeing success with, and begin that process. He will update your homepage with photos that create a look and feel that is more based on your current market, such as David Corbett on the beach, things like that. You know, different people. Courtney Lorette might feel like it's down the bayou. Jade Smith is going to feel like North Carolina. You know, Chad Nolan's going to feel like Seattle. All those things, right? Creating and updating smart drip campaigns. This is a mix of emails, text, voicemail drops as well. So that's automatic voicemails that go out without you sending them, as well as custom campaigns for different lead sources, i.e. if you use Zillow, okay, getting those leads directly pushed into KV Core, getting them to go into campaigns. Same thing with Facebook leads, same things with all sorts of other things. If you have leads from an existing CRM or anywhere else, he will get them imported into KV Core for you. Lead routing. If you have a team of agents, you really need to make sure lead routing is set up so that the right agents get the right leads, okay? Or it's a round robin or something, okay? He will take care of that for you. And also lead parsing, making sure that all leads you are generating in real estate automatically get pushed into KV Core with the proper hashtags so they go in the proper campaigns and the right things happen. One thing that we'll talk about a lot is My Plus Home Leads in just a minute. Okay, and how that works and how he's using hashtags to do a lot of things inside of that. Now, let's talk about some of our more productive offices and what they're doing inside of KV Core. These are offices not actively cold calling. Some may do it, but their business is not built around that, like some of the newer offices are. Okay, their offices are built around strong agents that they have recruited and a lot of social media content. Now, some of those agents might be doing some cold calling, but they're not built around it. Okay, those agents each are marketing themselves and thus the brand in many different ways by utilizing their KV Core account for marketing as well as social media posts. Okay, agents are the only form of marketing that is going to pay you, and these agents are posting the brand everywhere because of their KV Core accounts and also because of the content that we create for them is featuring your brand. Okay. So let's look around at some of the automated systems they're using in KV Core to grow their business, okay? A very big tool that many use is something called My Plus Home Leads. My Plus Home Leads cost somewhere between $60 and $80 a month. And basically it gives you a radius of 50, 60, whatever miles around your home office. And it makes it possible to do a lot of things. It will automatically import expireds and FSBOs into your KV Core every single day. You can have campaigns that will do voicemail drops to these people automatically, letting them know you exist in their market. You can put text campaigns, which they can obviously opt out of, but a text campaign with a link to your website that goes to a landing page with professional video content talking about how we understand that they want to sell their FSBO and they don't want to pay a huge commission. That's where we come in. That's what we do. Okay. This sort of thing is huge. Okay. It's not expensive. It just takes time to set up and it takes campaigns, and that's all of what he does. Kim Willikowski is using, she's our #1 office now. She's using My Plus Home Leads to pull in FSBOs into KV Core. They go into text campaigns. They use FSBO videos in those texts. The campaigns run automatically for about 2 weeks. They are allowed to opt out, obviously, but if they respond in any possible way other than stopped or cancel or anything else, their agents are reaching out, just saying hello and introducing themselves. Okay. She's spending $70 a month on My Plus Home Leads, and then she spends another $1,000 on Chris Zach doing typical branding type stuff, retargeting. Okay. She's on pace to do well over 200 deals this year, and she's doing amazing. And that's in a very down market. Okay. As I don't have to tell you guys. Her entire team is incredibly active in KV Core every single day. All right. Now then, let's contrast that with Stacia, also a really big office. Okay. She's doing tons of Facebook marketing and retargeting and Facebook Marketplace and all sorts of other things through Chris Zach and KV Core. She's not doing anything for FSBOs. She's not doing voicemail drops. She's not putting anything into text campaigns for FSBOs or expireds or anything like that. But across 2 different markets, she's only spending about $800 a month on Chris Zach. And that includes the $300 she's paying him. So it's not like she's spending a fortune here. She's going to also do over 200 deals this year. Her office is nowhere near as active as Kim Wilikowski's in KV Core. Okay. Just from talking to Kim, I can tell they're spending a fair amount of time in KV Core every single day. I asked Stacia what her experience is with KV Core. She says, I have the app, and when I get a lead, I send it to somebody, or it's round robin to somebody. I was like, what about time spent in KV Core? And she's like, virtually zero. She doesn't, I mean, not to pick on her, but she's not an expert in KV Core at all. It's just working for her. Okay. Matt and Trey also using My Plus Home Leads for voicemail drops. So I believe FSBO's and expireds. I'm not completely sure on that. They're going to also do, you know, a couple hundred deals this year. Trey, feel free to chime in. Their Birmingham office, they have 2 different office locations. They're also expanding what they're doing in KV Core. I mean, there's interesting stuff going on with all these offices in KV Core, and we are seeing offices that are our top offices, the ones that are growing, the ones that are doing great, are utilizing this tool. Trey, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, so we're doing FSBOs right now. We're probably going to switch over and get expireds too. I mean, like at minimum, you should go to My Plus Leads, sync it into KV Core, and do the for sell by owners, because it's literally $29 a month for just the sell by owners per market that you're doing, right? So per 50-mile radius is $29. I mean, it's super cheap. And then you buy the voicemail drop through KV Core, and you set a campaign that sends out a voicemail drop that says, hey, this is David, or this is Jim. I'm calling about your house, and just let them call you back. That's it. That's all I do. I literally set it to tell them a voicemail drop that says, hey, this is Trey. I'm calling about your house that you have for sale. Give me a call back. And they call me back, and I explain who I am and what I do, and that I'm available in the market, and we go from there. Once I get them on the phone, that's the most important aspect. But I don't have to actually go chase them down and be that aggressive cold caller. I can literally have the system chase them down for me and them call me.
Landon is asking, are you willing to share how you have KV Core set up to do that, or are you using Chris Zach?
No, I mean, we set it up before that, but now we've got Chris Zach refining it and doing, we have him building out some refinements in that system, right? And so he's actually building out some campaigns. It's just like, he was brought in out of necessity of, I don't have time to further build out these campaigns to do it better, right? And that's the big problem that we're having is time to do the campaigns and build them out. And the time to sit down at the computer. I mean, 2 days this week we've been out just in the field and haven't really looked at a computer much.
Yep.
So,
yeah, absolutely, Landon. I will connect you and Trey.
Yeah, we talked. Go ahead.
Trey did, and Matt did, like a little training session of, I guess, maybe 6 months back with KV Core on how they set it up.
Yeah. So KV Core is a little different whenever you're talking about setting it up with My Plus Leads. You have to use Zapier and zap those leads in there and set that up. I'd have to do like a screen share on it.
Can I jump in for 1 second, Trey?
Yes,
Tell
sir.
me this. If I asked you to sit down and explain how you do all these things, what percentage of agents and brokers here would understand it, and what percentage of them would actually do it?
I mean, Grant, that's a mean question.
Right, but so I want an honest answer. Like, how many of them are gonna like? All right, so I got Ed Dominski there. I'm not sure how tech savvy he is. They're getting ready to open Virginia. So if I ask you to sit down in a Zoom meeting with Ed Dominski to explain how to set up Zapier so that he can use an API to zap using Zapier leads through an email parsing system from My Plus Home Leads into his KV course, and then put them into a campaign that's going to feature, you know, all these different things and voicemail drops and texts and all these other things. Like, how's that going to go?
To explain it, or have to, it's not going to go well the first time.
So at the end of the day, this is kind of the point.
Yeah. No, the point is let Chris do it.
Yeah, and look, Lisa
Pay the man for your time.
So I had a great call with Lisa Edwards. She's over in South Carolina. Lisa began doing some of it on her own. And then I had a great call with Stacia and Kim, where both of them were on a group call with me. And one of them was like, well, I'm doing this. And she's like, well, I'm not doing that. And the other one's like, well, I'm doing this. Well, I'm not doing that. And so they're hearing things that they're not doing. But the point is that if I looked at Kim or Stacia, or even Landon and Brett and Drew, who are newer, and I said, guys, figure out how much money you make per hour doing what you do, and then justify all the hours you're going to spend trying to figure out how to do this. It doesn't make sense. You know, what makes the most sense? Attend a Breakfast Club meeting, learn how to do some cold calling and outreach. You spend time doing that, generate your own $300 and give that to Chris Zach for him to do these things for you right. That's really what makes sense. Okay. So I think at the end of the day, the purpose of this is not to tell anybody, man, you're just missing the boat and you're screwing up or anything else, but it's more so to say, what are you good at and what generates money for you? For Ashley Callahan, I can tell you it's content. For Brett Reinhardt, as opposed to just doing a deal. For Brett Reinhardt, Ashley Callahan, a few others, it's content. You know, for Courtney and for others, it's probably passively working her sphere because she knows most of the town that she lives in. Same thing with Seth. You know, everybody's got something different that works. But I think for pretty much 100% of our people, the best use of their time is not figuring out Zapier and KV Core and setting up campaigns. It's just not. You know, that's why I don't do my own SEO. Anybody want to jump in and throw things out, ask questions? Floor is open. I'm done with my big.
Yeah, I'll jump in on this. Just one more point on this. I mean, what we did initially in KV Core was out of necessity before Chris Zach was involved, right? And so I very painstakingly figured out how to connect KV Core and My Plus Leads correctly to where it worked right in the system and did that like we wanted it to. And then we added the voicemail drops, and then it just started all coming to life really, really well. And so best $20 a month I've ever spent was on those or $20, $30 a month I've ever spent was on those voicemail drops. But because it has provided well in excess of what I've spent on it so far in leads and closed listings so far. So,
yep. Kim, what you got?
And that's just that simple part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Trey. What you got, Kim? You look like you're getting ready to jump in.
No, I was just going to say, if they didn't want to make the initial investment because that was overwhelming, KV Core and YouTube have a ton of videos, even on elementary. How do I get started? What's the first 5 things I've got to know to master KV Core? So the system starts working for you. So, you know, and then you can grow to the point where you're comfortable investing and having others, like Trey said, to evolve it and grow it. But if you just bite the, you know, elephant one bite at a time, it's really not as overwhelming if you just set that goal of this week, I'm going to get my hashtags and my you know, set up for all of my clients in my database. And then you're going to do something next. And then Zapier, what do I have that I'm manually lead routing? Because the videos are fantastic. And if you're not taking the time, I just challenge you to kind of do one thing a week, put it on your calendar. And this is the week I'm going to learn X, and then this, and then this. And you start compounding and growing on it. Because if you try to bite that head off the elephant all at one time, you're going to be totally overwhelmed and it's not going to work for you. You don't know where to start. But there's simple things that you can just get in and just Google it or YouTube it on 5 things I need to know to get started in KV Core, and then just master those and then build on it. And then eventually you're getting to a point where you're going to love what Chris Zach does because he's going to expand on it.
So
or you can hire him right away. But if you're afraid to make that investment, you can do that.
Yes. Right now I've got I got my screen shared, and if I just type in find campaigns in KV Core, literally Google AI tells me to find campaigns in KV Core. You can navigate to the marketing tab and select smart campaigns. Log into your KV Core backend, click the marketing tab, select smart campaigns. You can find campaigns in 2 main sections, blah, 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 blah. I mean, AI will now tell you everything you need to know. You know, if you search KV Core for beginners, okay, you go videos. I mean, how many do you want? There's probably 1,000 KV Core videos for beginners that's either made by KV Core or made by other agents trying to recruit agents into their system because their company uses KV Core. So, you know, I mean, the content is out there. Like literally, when I tell you, if I want to learn how to do something in KV Core, I don't even go to Inside Real Estate or KV Core. I Google it because Google will give me a faster answer than anything else will. What you got, Stacia?
I think the other thing that's important for as owners is to make sure y'all are building out your KV Core pages to be a little bit more attractive. I completely rebuilt my office page, and then as I get agents on board, I actually build their pages. So my personal page, so there's Danny. I rebuilt their pages, and it's so easy by adding the different widgets. We add Chris Zach actually built out a what is 1% list page for me on our KV Core page. And when he did that to the company page, it automatically links to all of my agents underneath me. So everybody has that what is 1% list page. So they can actually market for listings, you know, on Facebook or whatever to, you know, looking to list a house, we only charge 1%, and they can link them directly to their what is 1% list page. But I think the basic KV Core page that we get, it's fine, but it's not enough. So building widgets on it, and I YouTubed it. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I YouTubed it, figured out how to build the widgets, did it on the company page. And then whenever I build out my agent pages, it asks me if I want to copy the widgets from the company page. And I just select yes, and my agent pages are built out. Reviews, I add reviews to the KV Core page. So you do have to manually add reviews into your KV Core pages. But I think it's important for you to do that. Copy and paste from Google some reviews, so when your agents are sharing their websites, they actually have their own reviews on the pages. And you can teach your agents how to do that as well. But I just I try to get them built up in the beginning so that they have something a little bit, you know, meatier to be able to share.
And one of the things that I just got out of a meeting with Landon and Chris Zach before this started. And one of the things that we worked on was, so the what is 1% list page, I think that would be great for converting sellers. Even FSBOs, you could send us a FSBO straight to that page and they will get it. Like they don't need content just specifically for FSBOs. Like they would get it. But one of the other things that we're working on with Chris is, you know, create a page specifically for expired and withdrawn listings. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a page that's front and center on your KV Core account, but it needs to be something where when you purchase My Plus Home Leads and you have campaigns for expireds where you're sending them a voicemail drop or a text or automatically sending them a postcard for $1 a piece, there's a QR code there. And if they scan it, it'll bring them to a page talking about how they can use your savings as a tool to help their home sell. And they don't need to overpay a listing agent. They need to hire an affordable listing agent. And so that affordable listing agent can afford to price more aggressively or offer an interest rate reduction, something like that to rope in a buyer. Like, it's not hard to do these things, and we have the capability to do them all, and they're not even expensive. You just got to take the time to do it. And so, you know, the point of the earlier part of the meeting is, you know, the Landons of the world, they're going to have to start to use these systems, because you can't be doing this business model and cold calling 2 or 3 hours a day and expect to continue that long term. You're not gonna have time for it unless he's just going to refer those deals out to other agents of his. He's going to run out of time. You know, he just is. And so all these things are doable. And so I would highly recommend you go in a chat. If nothing else, book a meeting with Chris Zach just to learn what's available to you. Just to know what's there. I mean, 30 minutes of your time ain't going to kill you to learn what all can I do. But I think the most low-hanging fruit for all these things is FSBOs and expireds, texts, and voicemail drops, which you can do through campaigns without you doing anything other than monitoring their response. That's literally the heavy lifting on your part, is monitor their response to your campaigns that are automatically running. I think those are no-brainers for everyone, personally. Questions, guys? Everybody's very silent. If you got nothing, I'll shut it down early. But I mean, I think all this stuff would be useful to a lot of people. David's waiting to give the next weather report in 15 minutes.
With regard to the KV Core, I guess, open forum that we had this morning, we are planning on doing that twice a month, at least throughout the end of the year. I know the first meeting is kind of slow because nobody knows what to expect. I mean, I know I didn't know if Megan was coming in with an agenda or if it was just going to be an open forum of asking questions. So I would encourage you guys to, thanks, Stacia. I would encourage you guys to make sure your agents know about these meetings. When the next meeting is coming up, I'm going to get with Megan today and make sure that it's going to be the same link and verify time and day. I'll post it in the agent page, and I'll email you as the franchise owners that, hey, we're having this meeting scheduled on this day. Go find the link here. But I would encourage you, not only you to attend, you might be able to offer insight to other agents, other franchisees, but you might also be able to learn something that we didn't already know.
Yep. Totally agree. So look, I appreciate everybody who came today. Make sure you're hanging out in our Facebook groups. We're sharing a lot of content and a lot of information, a lot of stuff through Facebook groups. So make sure you're checking into those. I appreciate all you guys coming today. If you have questions, you know how to get in touch with me and Kelly. If anybody needs to be connected to somebody else to learn what they're doing with KV Core, that's kind of the great thing about all this stuff, is like what Trey is finding that's successful is, I mean, he can share with everybody because, you know, Landon's not playing in his market and vice versa. You know, there's no reason why we shouldn't be in open flow of information. I know we have some offices that are kind of close to each other around, you know, New Orleans, but aside from that, everybody's pretty well scattered. You know, you're not going to be
steal my ideas, Stacia.
She's recruiting agents. She's busy recruiting agents, Trey.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys. If anybody needs to be connected with another, just let me know. I appreciate y'all coming today. Let me know if you got questions, if you need me. Okay.
Thank y'all so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Take care.